In addition, pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 11 of the Public Laws of 2020, this meeting is being electronically transmitted and recorded in accordance with law. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Okay, let's see. Is there a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of opening the meeting for public comments, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All right. Do we have any public?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Seeing no public, is there a motion to close the meeting for public comments?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Okay. All those in favor of closing the meeting for public comments, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. Did everybody get a chance to look at the working session monthly board meeting minutes from July 7th, 2020?
Yes.
They should have been included in your packets in Dropbox. Is there any questions, concerns, clarifications, amendments needed? Hearing none. With that, is there a motion to approve the working session monthly board meeting minutes from July 7th, 2020?
Motion.
moved.
Is there a second? I heard two people. So,
Second.
Teresa, I heard you motion. Bram, do you want a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ann Berenson,
Yes.
Ms. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes.
Mr. Tawari,
Mr. Tawari just messaged that he's having a problem with his connection right now, so he may be intermittent.
Okay, so Mr. Bernstein, how would you like me to record Mr. Tawari for this meeting?
Abstain. We're going to record him as present, and we're going to record the vote as abstain.
Okay, thank you. And Chairman Galtieri?
Yes.
Okay,
All right. Next on my agenda is approval of the meeting minutes for executive session. We'll hold that until hopefully the September meeting when we may be able to meet in person or may continue. All right. I'm going to quickly go on to the executive summary professional reports. Is there anything urgent, Mr. Interim Executive Director, that needs to be reported from our professionals?
There is, stand by, let me just re-review. There is nothing that is urgent that kept. Sorry, I had to mute caller number 2, whoever that is. There's
Might be
nothing.
Mr. Tawari.
There's nothing urgent about any of the projects. The only major change is I changed Marcy Street from green to yellow, and that's only simply because the state reported to CME that due to the furloughs, there's going to be some more delay with the final review and authorization to advertise. I do have a list. If you look at the executive summary report, there's a significant list under legal. And I believe there is a potential for executive session on at least 4 of those items.
Okay. Is that for tonight or is that for?
Tonight.
I'm sorry, what?
If you want to discuss them tonight.
Okay.
Would you like me to read that list?
No, if you have concerns that they should be handled in executive session, then we will then we'll have a quick executive session and handle them there. Okay. With that, okay. Any questions on our professional reports? And I guess we'll briefly go into executive session to cover the 4 matters of concern with the, as far as legal is concerned then. Any questions from the commissioners to the professionals at this time? Okay, hearing none, let's move on to the executive. Well, let me first stop for 1 second and make a note publicly. The reason that we are expediting through some of these is currently as the tropical storm moves out, there have been some power issues throughout the town. So we are trying to make sure that we can complete this meeting and make sure that we can pay our bills. If there is significant concern later this month, if the board were to have concerns, we could potentially call a additional meeting, or commissioners can reach out to the interim executive director for to go over stuff. That is the reason we're trying to get through things as quickly. It's in the interest of the current state of the state, really. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if it is
Mr.
the concern of the chair and the board to pay the bills with the possibility that the power may go out at any moment, my suggestion is you adopt the resolution paying the bills.
Okay, let's do that then. Do I need a motion to amend the agenda, or can I just skip on to that item? Discretion.
Is there a motion to change the order of the agenda?
Okay, can I have a motion to change the order of the agenda to do the consent agenda at this time?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Tawari, thank you. We can hear you.
Yeah,
okay.
I have to resort to my phone and the video. So unfortunately, you can see my phone hanging from my ear.
Okay. Good to hear from you. With that, is all in favor of amending the agenda, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay. With that, I'm going to skip on to the approval of resolutions will be done by the consent agenda. All the items listed below are considered to be of routine nature, thereby requiring one motion and 1 second for all items. If any member wishes to remove an item from the consent agenda or has any questions, please advise me at this time which resolution needs to be handled separately or that you have a question on, and they will be addressed and voted on separately. Resolution number 0804-2020-1, payroll account of $195,388.34. Resolution number 0804-2020-2, operating expense account in the amount of $1,666,557.13. Resolution number 0804-2020-3, general fund account of $10,931.25. Resolution number 0804-2020-4, renewal and replacement in the amount of $219,329.64. And resolution number 0707-2020-5. Should that be 0707 or should it be?
No, that's a correction. I have the corrected working agenda. It's 0804-2020-5.
Okay, so resolution number 0804-2020-5, escrow account of $202,326. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
There was already a motion. Mr. Chairman, there was a motion by Mr. Tawari, seconded by Ms. Ford. It's a roll call.
I thought that was to amend the agenda.
All right, then call the roll again, sorry. Then
Okay.
call motion. Sorry.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ann Berenson,
Yes.
Ms. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Tawari,
Yes.
and Chairman Galtieri.
Yes. Did we get Mr.
Hi, this
Mr.
is
Schmidt.
Donna DeVoe.
Okay. Wait, I heard a voice. So Commissioner DeVoe has joined us.
She's joined us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have 647.
Okay, then Okay.
Did we call Mr. Mosen in the roll?
Yep.
And Ms. DeVoe?
Yeah.
Okay, and can I confirm who made the motion? I know Ms. Ford seconded. Who made the motion?
Mr. Tawari.
Thank you.
I think this motion was made by Mr. Ambarasan. This,
Yes, it was Mr.
I made the
Embarrass.
motion.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my mistake.
Okay,
That's all
we're
right.
good. We're good. Thank you.
Can I suggest
Okay.
that whoever makes, Mr. Chairman, can we suggest again that anyone who makes motions and seconds indicates who it is?
Yes, let's do that. And at some point, maybe somebody will develop software that allows you to raise a hand on your screen also for motions and seconds, but that's hoping too much from software developers, apparently. All right, Okay.
ED's report.
Yeah.
Motion to return to the normal order of business.
we have a motion to return to the normal order of business.
Motion.
Do we have a
this
second?
is Tiwari's second.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor of going back to the normal order of business, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed to going back to the normal order of business? All right. Let's move on to the executive director's report, summary. Mr. Danielson?
Yes, sir. We talking the executive director's report or the executive summary?
Executive director summary.
Okay. Under revenue, we collected in July 922,216 and 36 cents. Our metered billing for the month was 480,180 and 44 cents. And penalties accumulated for this month were $14,760.87. Those numbers are near the 2019 numbers. Expense report is attached. The expenditures this month are $314,522 and 71 cents. Our cash position under unrestricted is $654,302.16. Restricted category $16,966,263.46, and designated is $3,152,938.26. Well, I just want to add a note here, as I did last month. We did shift money around from one category to the other. So you're going to see, I thought you'd see it by now, but you'll see it by the next meeting, a shift of approximately $5,300,000. Under the COVID-19 status, the admin engineering staff still have alternating work from home schedules. We did purchase webcams for myself, Scott, and Christian, so they could participate on their desktops as they're doing now. And we put into place a travel policy, which was distributed to all the staff and all employees. Under escrow maintenance accounts, this month at this meeting, we're going to be releasing 15 accounts for a total of $246.00. For the month, we have, hold on. I just muted Sharendra. We have 12.5 connections for the month. On the last meeting, we discussed continuation of waiving the interest penalty for late payments. That's something, Chairman, do you want to continue discussing between now? I mean, that would expire. There'll be a week there where we don't know what to do. If you want to extend it to the end of September or not, or longer.
Wait, we currently extended till what, September 1st?
Through the month of August. April, is that your recollection?
I believe so, through August 31st.
Yeah.
Okay, commissioners, what are your thoughts?
I think it should be extended.
Okay, through what, do a 1 month extension through September 30th to give some flexibility to our ratepayers?
Yes, and take it on a month-to-month basis.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
Surendra, Arnie, or Brianna?
Will, this is Tiwari. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so with that, is there a motion to extend, what is this, the penalty forgiveness for another month, extending to September 30th, 2020?
This is Tiwari, motion.
Second,
Second.
Okay, with that, roll call, please.
Mr. Ann Berenson,
Yes.
Ms. DeVoe,
Yes.
Ms. Ford,
yes.
Mr. Tewari,
Yes.
and Chairman Galtieri.
Yes. Okay. Moving along.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we had a GIF review report from J.A. Montgomery, reported no areas, no OSFIs, and their report has been closed. So the Middlesex County Utilities Authority sent us the data reports. I'm going to ask Christian to speak on that a little bit. There was a significant area of missing data, and the gist of it is that they were not taking sampling. And so I have questions on how they were going to bill us if they weren't taking samples. So I asked Christian to investigate and to communicate with them and provide us a full follow-up and report. If I could ask Christian right now to give us an update on that.
Yeah, definitely. So I followed up with MCUA, and I found out that they told me that they're using an estimated concentration for the dates where we didn't have a concentration available. And all I mean by that is they didn't sample most of the quarter due COVID. So in reply, they said they used the estimated concentration they have from the beginning of the year. Makes sense. So I told Joe is I tried to use the math to make sense of that, the estimated concentration, and I'm having trouble to really understand what estimated concentrations they're using. So I contacted MCUA to clarify that. So where we stand is I'm basically waiting for them to reply what estimated concentrations they're using. And I told Joe our goal should be to try to save, not try to use, think of it from the authority's point of view, so save money. So for example, if we feel that they're using an estimated concentration that's a little high, I'll let Joe know, and I'll recommend maybe there's something more fair we can use. So that's where we are right now.
And we'll continue to update the board as this goes forward. This might happen more often than in the past due to staffing limitations they may have. I'm not sure.
And just for my not uneducated clarification, concentration, of course, would impact flow. Is that correct? So a higher concentration, of course, would be a higher flow rate. Is that correct? Or
no, they're
no?
Independent.
Okay. So can you clarify?
Yeah, sure. So think of it, there's two different type of measuring forms. So flow is just a flow meter, and the concentration is with a sampling machine. So they're independent. I will say, I think what you're hinting at is there's something called loading. So in order to calculate the tons of, I guess, let's say a tons of BOD, that's something we get charged for. You have to use the flow times the loading to get to the flow times the concentration to get to the loading. But the flow and the concentration are separate.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. So our legal counsel did send Southbound Brook a formal letter to their attorney. Eric, I don't believe you got a response from that yet.
No, we have not.
All right, so that's a slow moving dog. Union, the MOA has been signed and executed, but April and I are not sure of the status of the collective bargaining agreement. I think that's still on your desk. Is that correct?
The current status of the collective bargain agreement is we have drafted same, we have circulated it to Mr. Galtieri, Mr. Ambarrison, and Mr. Shaw of the union, and I am awaiting to hear from any and or all of them as to their comments.
You will have my comments most likely tonight. I did start reviewing it in between lights flickering earlier today. So you should have my comments by end of today or early tomorrow. So far, it's just a few notes that I have.
It's the same here. I will get it to you by tomorrow morning.
No problem.
Okay. There was a clarification request regarding the staff healthcare contributions, as been the past practice of the authority to align admin staff and the maintenance staff. April, do you have any further requests for clarifications or decisions on that matter?
No, I know that we've already implemented everything for the maintenance staff as of the signing of the memorandum of understanding. I believe we were waiting for the actual signed collective bargaining agreement before we moved forward with implementing it for the admin staff. That was the last comment that was made on it, unless we will move forward with the admin staff at this time as well. Chairman?
Let's I would say hold off until we finish the CBA because not everything's gone into effect yet until the CBA is signed. So we'll implement it. My recommendation would be wait till the CBA, which we should hopefully have the CBA done in a few, hopefully very shortly. So.
And then will we be able to move forward with the admin staff when that CBA is signed? Or will we have to wait until the next board meeting on September 1?
Mr. Attorney?
Pleasure of the governing body, pleasure of the board.
So board members, question for the commissioners is, do you want to wait until the next meeting, or can we proceed with implementing the benefits change once the CBA is signed by the union? It's just to keep everybody in the at the same level. Comments? Thoughts? Opinions?
What's the what's the downside to waiting till September?
It's just it's which, if I'm not mistaken, it would just be which pay period it starts taking effect. So if it would be either the first, what would it be? Probably the first or second week of September, or it would be whenever we get the CBA. And the CBA may not be signed in August, for all we know. I mean, the goal is to get it signed as quickly as possible so everything goes into effect. It just would be when the implementation date would be.
Okay.
Chairman, if I may, just for clarification, and that was at the last meeting, it was mentioned that that would all be retroactive back to June 1st, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, April.
My pleasure.
Wait, I don't think we have clarity on this. So we have a comment from Commissioner Ford. Do you have a opinion one way or the other on this, or?
I think it should be done as soon as it's signed. I mean, but.
Okay. Anybody else? Not hearing anything from anybody. So go ahead.
I agree with Commissioner Ford. I think once it's signed, I don't think we should have to wait until the September meeting.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, with that being said, do we need a motion and vote? Okay. So from what I'm hearing, the general consensus so far, unless I'm wrong, is that the benefits for the admin staff be implemented at the same time as the CBA, or around the time that the CBA is signed, rather than waiting till the next meeting if it's signed between now and September 1st, I believe. If that is the case, then is there a motion to implement that?
So moved.
Second,
I have Commissioner Barrison and Commissioner Ford. Second, roll call, please.
Mr. Ambaranson,
Yes.
Ms. DeVoe,
Yeah.
Ms. Ford,
yes.
Mr. Tawari,
Mr. Tawari is muted. We might have to unmute him.
Narendra, can you try again?
Yes.
Mr. Tawari,
Yes.
Was it yes?
and Chairman Galtieri.
Yes. Okay. So that's the direction on the healthcare contributions then for the admin staff.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yes.
There was an item beforehand, and I think I was muted at that time. I was trying to speak, but you folks may not have heard about something of a review that you are going to do tonight. Am I involved in that review? Is that document with me, has been sent to me?
Which review?
Mr. Bernstein has some document that is sent to you, and I think Mr. Ambarazan
Oh, the
for
CBA.
review.
The CBA?
Okay, so I think so, and I'm not. Am I involved in it or no? I just don't know.
At this time, no, because it's the personnel committee reviewing it. You'll get to sign
Okay.
it though. I believe you'll get to sign it when we need to execute it.
I got it. So yeah, I'm not reviewing it. That's all right. I just didn't know. I was not clear about it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay. Next on the list.
Okay, New Brunswick water sewer billing issue. So Christian has been in contact with Mr. Tom Valenti from the New Brunswick. And they've been going back and forth on the issues, specifics. The result of that currently is that, Christian, correct me if I'm wrong, that Mr. Valente wants an on-site inspection of a couple of our facilities for one reason or another. And when I'm done, I'll ask Christian to give details. However, before we go on site with New Brunswick, CME wants to visit those on-site locations with our staff, with Scott, Christian, and myself. And I believe we're scheduled for tomorrow morning at 11:30. Is that correct?
Correct.
Hold on. I will unmute. All right, just unmuted Joe Jamel. So, Christian, why don't you give a very quick summary of what is still up in the air with New Brunswick and what they need to feel confident about the billing?
Yep, so the big takeaway is it's moving forward. They're willing to comply. They just want to get, I guess, they want to be able to look their boss in the eye and basically say that, okay, we're going to reduce the bill to Franklin. So in terms of action items, the big thing that he wants is to inspect the crossing. He just wants to go out there and inspect it. No problem. Probably just so the commissioners know, probably will get done hopefully next week. So we'll keep you updated. That's the big takeaway. Well, also me and Tom are discussing, so we know when our pump stations became online. So when our pump stations came online, that means that they should have saw a reduction of flow. So me and Tom are just analyzing the different data to make sure that he sees a reduction on his end. So that's where it is.
Thank you, Christian. Joe Jamel, do you want to remark on this?
Yes, we will look at those crossings to confirm the conditions prior to going out with Valenti. And we also want to take a look at the flow that's on Easton Avenue that's still going through New Brunswick to see if there's a way that that can be moved out of the New Brunswick line and directly into the landing lane flow meter that Franklin has. Or conversely, find another way to either meter that flow or a way to have a definitive billing mechanism with New Brunswick, be that a unit count or a water meter consumption methodology or something along that line.
Mr. Danielson, I assume the objective here is to put together the basis for a new contract with New Brunswick?
Absolutely.
And that'll probably take effect as soon as Hamilton Street, because that's one of the last connections out there, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Well, I'm sorry, what was your question, Chairman?
So that really can't fully take effect until Hamilton Street goes live also, because Hamilton Street will help with the reduction of, I see Scott shaking his head. Okay. The Hamilton Street will reduce
unless you build in an automatic change based upon that into an agreement, but I don't see any reason why we can't wait until it's online.
Okay. All right, let's keep Hamilton Street moving forward and on green schedule then, and get that as soon as possible.
Okay.
I see Scott frowning. Wait, I see Scott frowning a little bit there. So okay.
We're good.
Okay.
The archiving and documentation, as I reported last month, it is moving forward. Christian has narrowed down 3 vendors and is currently in the middle of designing an action plan, which basically would start with archiving and digitizing the site plan drawings. Is that correct? Christian indicates that is correct. Christian, you may want to speak on the next one, the Somerset County water treatment agreement.
He's muted.
Hold on. Go ahead, Christian, you can talk.
Thanks, April. So basically, we got a request from Somerset County. They're basically doing an analysis to see how different treatment plants capacities are currently and in the future. So long story short, they sent us, they want Franklin Township Sewerage Authority and Franklin Township to make a list of proposed developments so we know the future flow heading to the treatment plant in Sayreville, and just to see what the future capacity is if they have to do any policy for it. So an update for everyone is basically Franklin Township Planning is actually taking the lead on this. Mark Healy, he's basically going to summarize the list of all the developments that are in the proposed for the future, since he's the one who knows best as a planning director, and he's going to communicate that with me. And once we both talk about it, we're going to analyze the future flows, and then we're going to together submit it to the Somerset County, and they could use that information to determine future capacity at the Middlesex County Utilities Authority. So that's where we are right now.
I also asked Christian, based upon I believe a question from Scott, to analyze the individual crossings into Middlesex County. And if I understand Christian's summary correctly, we don't have much of a capacity issue. Those lines, they're potentially, one of those lines, if I recall correctly, Christian, correct me if I'm wrong, one of those lines on peak moments gets a little dodgy, but still does not max out.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So the reason why that was significant is because in the county's assessment of our capacity, our load right now versus the vacant, potentially developable land, I was looking to, protect Franklin Township a bit and possibly use crossing capacity issues, but it doesn't look like currently that's an option for us. Christian, what did you say the deadline was?
Say it again.
What's the deadline to report our final comments to the county?
So deadline's the 14th.
Okay, we're going to be ready for that on the 14th?
Correct. I've been talking to Mark, so shouldn't be a
And
problem.
we'll be totally congruent with the township planner.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, outside any potential executive session topics, that concludes my report. I do want to thank Scott and April for doing a great job running the place while I was away. Apparently everybody was happy I wasn't here, but they did a fantastic job.
I don't know if that's a good thing or...
You didn't tell them about the parties, did you?
I was just going to say that. There's still confetti on the carpet.
By the way, he's joking. Since we can't see the carpet, I would like to verify that that is 100%.
That is a joke. That was facetious.
All right. With that, I lost my agenda. 1 second. I've got too many windows open. Okay. I got it. Moving on to, all right, Scott, anything urgent to report?
So I know you wanted to be brief, and I'm just going to touch on something under the safety real quick. Is there were no accidents or injuries for the month of July. We are still working on adjusted schedules with the maintenance staff. I did have 2 inspections this month through the JIF. One was the environmental side of the JIF. The other was the safety side of the JIF. And both inspections went very well. The one I wanted to really talk about was the environmental side. There's a scorecard affiliated with the inspection, and the top score is 100. We got a 97 out of 100. And just a real quick rundown of that is you lose a point for certain issues. And we lose a point for having floor drains in our garage bays. Okay, they've been there since the building was built. The thought there is that if a material were to go down the drains, where could it go? What kind of harm could it cause? So we lose a point for having floor drains in the bays. We lost 2 points for not having spill kits that are not required by the JIF, but are recommended by the JIF to have, where the pump stations have diesel generators, as well as the fuel tanks here at the main facility. Once I got wind of that recommendation by them, I researched the spill kits. I purchased them. They've already been placed at the pump stations, which it's 9 stations, 1 here at the facility. I notified First Environment for the JIF, explained to them that we took care of that, and they said they would note that on the final report. Our score will still be a 97 for this year, but I'm pretty happy with that. Also let you know that our last inspection with them was back in 2017. The reason for that is because we're labeled as a facility that has a good track record with environmental concerns and stuff like that, and our previous audits have been very good. So that's something to be somewhat happy about. Just real quick too on connections. I know Joe said 12.5, so total to date is 13.5, and anticipated for the fiscal year is 225.5. there's any questions about the rest of my report, you can surely contact.
Yeah, Scott, as far as the floor drains, do they go directly outside? Do they go into a common collection or something?
So we have a separator
Okay.
prior to it going out to the sewer.
Because I was
And
just
that's
wondering,
separated, we clean.
is it something that we can just block off and so it collects in there and we just have to clean it out once a week?
No.
Or something? Okay.
No, you know what it is because we have, when the trucks come in, especially in the wintertime, where, you know, just from rain, the water's got to go somewhere, so it drains to the floor.
Okay.
So,
Okay. We'll go
But
for a
it's
99
maintained now.
next year. All right. And Scott, how are we coming along? Did you continue with the gravity flushing?
so yeah, so we're still doing the gravity flushing. We're doing really well. There were some points of the month where we had 2 flushers going at one time. We cleaned 67,811 feet of main sewer line this year, this month, excuse me. So we're about 65% of our overall goal. So we're still a little behind due to COVID, but we're making good headway.
Okay. Good job. With that, any commissioner have a question for our operations manager? Okay. We got reports on the connections. Any additional special projects to cover?
No, Chairman.
Committee reports, negotiations, and personnel. So, as mentioned, we'll be finishing up the CBA, hopefully finishing up the CBA with maintenance staff, and that will close out this for the 3-year period, as well as was mentioned by the interim executive director that a travel policy was implemented regarding COVID-19 travel that is not related to authority business. That was vetted by legal and was in line with what the municipality has enacted as well, and what other municipalities have implemented. So it's basically I guess simply put, it's a forewarning of if you choose to go out of into one of the states that are on the self-quarantine list, that you will have to quarantine for 14 days and use your time use your time for that. So that was a policy, and it's something that's come up across all levels of government. So, all right, municipal liaison. Anything, Commissioner Ambosin?
I can't think of anything that we discussed about the authority.
Okay. They say thank you for helping with the manholes as the streets are being done. True. The authority's been out helping with the manholes to make sure that the inspections while the roads are being repaved, and road repaving will commence through no later than early November. Is the goal to have it all done for this year. Some streets will continue now, so. All right. With that, any construction of reports?
I'm sorry, Chairman?
Any construction committee reports from the commissioners?
I did not attend the last Hamilton Street pump station meeting.
Okay. All right. And then as far as safety, sounds like everybody was safe, and fortunately, given everything that's going on, has been, knock on wood, healthy as well. So hope the good work with that. We've already voted on the consent agenda. So with that, I believe there were a couple items that you wanted to quickly discuss in executive session. Is that correct?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay. All right. So you will have to, I guess, let our attorney know what the topics are, so that this way he can do what he needs to, so we can go into executive session. And then we'll
Bankruptcy list, travel policy, retail strip mall rates/charges, and identity theft as it relates to the staff.
Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I'm seeking a motion to go into executive session pursuant to the provisions of 10:4-12B7, anticipated or pending litigation, attorney-client privilege, formal action may be taken at the conclusion of the meeting.
Okay, is there a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Van Berenson,
Yes.
Ms. DeVoe,
Yes.
Ms. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Tewari,
Yes.
and Chairman Galtieri.
Yes. With that, who do we need?
This
Everybody
conference
on?
will now be recorded.
Okay. Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Van Berenson,
Yes.
Ms. DeVoe,
Yes.
Ms. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Tewari,
Yes.
and Chairman Galtieri.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Commissioners present the commencement of the executive session were present at the recommencement of the open session, as well as the interim executive director / special projects manager, the administrative manager, and general counsel. The board was given an update on a possible litigation related to sewer rate and flow calculations. The board has been made aware and no formal action needs to be taken at this time. There was a discussion regarding a possible theft issue involving a member of the staff, the overall staff. The board was given an update on it. Recommendations were made to the interim executive director and general counsel, and no formal action need to be taken. The board was brought up to date with the recently enacted quarantine policy instituted by the authority. Copies of such will be distributed, and any issues or questions the board may have will be directed either to general counsel or the interim executive director. No formal action need to be taken. And the last item, because my mind is going, was the first item, Joseph.
Bankruptcy list.
Yes, the issue of the bankruptcy list and overdue payments from outstanding ratepayers. Mr. Danielson and I will be doing continuing monitoring and bringing up to date to the board as soon as possible what the standings of these matters are. No formal action need to be taken. With that, Mr. Chairman, the appropriate motion is a motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for staying on longer than I had intended, but it seems like the storms have to have kept us stable enough. Thank you, everybody, again for attending. Please stay safe and try to enjoy the rest of what's left of the summer. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of ending this meeting on this lovely Tuesday night, say aye.
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 Aye. Anybody want to stay on longer? With
I
that,
just want to say something to Joe. Joe, I sent you an email today about a resolution about 232 and A2121 in reference to another email that I received today. So I'm just giving you
What account did you send that to?
your personal account, and I believe it was, no, your legislative account.
all right, first off, hold on, before you go any further, you can stop recording, and the time was 8:52 when we ended.